So in the previous lesson, we learned that for loops allow us to repeat certain statements multiple times. So for example, I want to repeat print high, right, 5 times. Then I can, before that, I write for I in range, and for the print high, I must have this indentation here, such that when Python runs this, it'll see, once it sees the for I in range 5, right, it will execute line 2 5 times. And if we see, we type something like this, high and by, then you execute line 2, line 3, then you redo it again, line 2, line 3, again, line 2, line 3, a total of 5 times, which is why we say high by, high by, high by. Okay, so that's for loops. Then we have also learned conditionals, right? So we have learned, let's say, we've learned about conditionals where, let's say, you have this conditional, then print 5, else print 5. So if I run this, then we see that it prints 5 because in the first line, we created a variable called x and we set it equals to value 5. Then in the next line, we check whether x equals to 5. And in that case, it is true. So that's why we went into the line 3 and executed line 3. And since the first conditional held true, we ignored the else part. So the else part is not executed. Okay, so far. So if I have this, so if I have x equals to 6, then perhaps you can guess what the output is going to be.
By.
Yeah, very good. So that's a relatively simple example to start off with. Then we also learned that we can chain conditionals together. And why I'm talking about this, right? Why I'm talking about conditionals is because there's an interview question, right? Coding interview question, which is called FizzBuzz, which I'll get onto later. So sometimes when people want to go out for coding interview jobs, the interviewer will ask them to solve some coding questions to demonstrate their ability. And through this discussion, they can also gauge the person's level of understanding. And this is one of the questions. And it turns out that we actually have enough knowledge from what I learned from the conditionals and the for loops lesson to solve the FizzBuzz question. And we will see a common pitfall that apparently quite a lot of people fall for. So, okay, so back to training conditionals. So if I write if-elif-x equals to 6 print b, okay, so let's change this to ab else print c. Okay, so if I run this, can you guess what the output is going to be? So I created a variable.
Is it b?
Yep, very good. So it's b. So the way the computer processes this, the way Python processes this is creates a variable, right? Then it checks if the first condition is true. In the first condition, since the first condition is not true, it checks the next condition, right? And since the next condition is true, right, it executes print b and it doesn't do the rest of it. So if I did x equals to 5, right, as soon as it checks the first condition, which is true, it prints a, it will ignore the rest of them. So what this means, right, is that if I put x equals to 5 here in the second condition, it's actually going to print a. And it's not going to print b because as soon as it checks the first one and the first one holds true, it ignores the rest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So so you may say, wait, isn't this kind of stupid? Like obviously the two conditions won't hold true simultaneously, but that's not really the case. If let's say I have x equals to 10, right? So let's say I have over here I have x mod 2 equals to 0. So remember the percentage was percentage means remainder. So I do 5% 2, then I'll get 1. Right? If I do 10% 2, then I'll get 0 because 5 divided by 2 leaves a remainder of 1. 10% 10 divided by 2 leaves a remainder of 0. So percentage is the remainder, if you can recall. Ken?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I do x% 2 equals 0, the next line I check x% 5 equals to, let's say, 0. Then yeah, so if I execute this, right, you can see that even though both the conditionals are true, right, even though 10 mod 2 is 0 and 10 mod 5 is 0, right, but because Python always checks the first one, then the second one, then the third one, right, since it checked the first one to be equal to true, it will run the first one and it will ignore the rest because else if, when it's elif over here, it will only execute you only check this, right, if the above ones all failed to hold. Does that make sense? Okay, which means, yeah, so the point I'm trying to get at here is that this one is the one that is checked first, right? And this one is a check second, but only if everything above failed to hold true, right? Meaning that if the first one was true, then it will not even check the second one. It will not even bother with the rest. Okay, so far, Ken?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay, great. So now onto FizzBuzz, right? FizzBuzz, you see why this is quite relevant later. So FizzBuzz is a coding question where people are tasked to print 1 to 15, or 1 to, sorry, not 1 to 15, 1 to any number, let's say 20, right? But there's a catch, right? If the number is divisible by 3, they must say fizz. And if the number is divisible by 5, they must say buzz. And if the number is divisible by both 3 and 5, they must say FizzBuzz. So as an example, right? As an example, this is the output they're supposed to produce. 1, 2 fizz, 4 buzz. Then because 6 is divisible by 3, right? So it says fizz. Okay, then it continues until 15, right? 15 is the first number that is divisible by both 3 and 5. That's why it should print FizzBuzz. Does it make sense? Okay, so yeah, so perhaps let's try to think how can we solve this question? So the first task using for loops, right, is to have a for loop that goes from, let's say, 1 to 20. So if I print I, right, I is a counter, then we see that um it has currently printed 1 to 20. Okay, so far we learned this in the previous for loop lesson. Okay, so let's try the print fizz, right, if the number is divisible by 3. So so what that might look like, I'll just do it over here because yeah, I'll just write it out instead of letting you type. So if I divisible by 3, print fizz, right? And then otherwise print the number I. So if I run this, right, can you guess what the output is going to be the first few, let's say?
Uh, is it like first one is I, and then the second one is fizz?
Okay, it's fine, it's fine. So the way to think about this is you think in terms of the iterations. So in the first iteration, right, I has the value 1. So it's going to print. So in the first iteration, when I equals to 1,
Then there will be a remainder, right? So wait, is there a remainder?
so you take one remainder 3, right? One remainder 3 gives you 1 because, yeah, because,
So the output will be I.
correct. So the output will be I, which is currently 1, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the first number we're going to see is 1. Okay, perhaps I just run it. First number we see, okay, I'm not, okay, I clear it, run it again. First number we see is 1, right? Then in the second iteration, I equals to 2. 2 divided by 3 leaves the remainder of 2. So if 2 equals to 0, that condition,
Is
yeah, no, 2 is not equal to 0. So this
oh,
condition fails to
it's
hold true.
I.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. So it's I. So that's why you see 2 get printed out because I has the value 2 in this iteration. Okay. Yeah. Then in the third iteration, when I equals to 3, right? So 3 divided by 3 leaves the remainder of 0. So this value I percent 3 gives you 0. And this conditional is,
Fizz.
yeah, correct. That's why we see in the third line, right? It says fizz, right?
Yeah.
So then this continues, right? So I equals to 4. Can you guess what the output is going to be?
Uh, if I equals to 4,
For I equals to
uh,
4.
then the output should be I. Wait, the output should be 4.
Yeah, correct. So in fact, the output is I because this condition, right? 4% 3 gives you 1. 1 is not equals to 0. So this condition fails to hold true. So it executes the else part, which is print I, which is 4. So you can see that if you let this run, right, the ones that will cause this condition to hold true is going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and so on, right? All the multiples of 3. So because multiples of 3 are the only one that is going to leave a remainder when divided by 3. Leave a remainder of 0 when divided by 3. Okay, makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, so then right, so that's how you do the 3 one. So then if I want to check, if I want all the multiples of 5 to give you bus, right, then I can add a line like this: if I mod 5 equals to 0, print bus. So do you want to give a quick guess about what this output is going to look like? You can guess the first, let's say first 6.
So like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Then you go through all the
Yeah, correct. So I will take on the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then what you see on the screen is not going to be exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh yeah.
Because what you see to the screen is what is printed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for example, I equals to 3 will give you we print fizz to the screen. So instead of saying 1, 2, 3, instead of saying 1, 2, 3, you see 1, 2 fizz.
Okay.
So you want to guess what
So
you
now
can.
you added another conditional.
Correct. So now I added another conditional. So if the first one doesn't hold true, then you check the second one.
Okay.
So yeah, so you may want to look at the case where I equals to 5, right?
Oh. So I think it's 1, 2 fees, 4
Very
bus,
good.
and then fees.
Yeah, excellent. So you see, you're right to say, okay, let me just clear the screen. You're right to say that it's 1, 2, fifth, 4. Then the fifth one, when I equals to 5, it checks the first conditional is not true, so it checks the second one. Then the second one is true, so it prints bus. So that's why you see bus on the screen instead of 5. Okay? Yeah. So okay, so right now when we get down to 15, right, we see that over here we have 13, 14, and at 15, we see at 15, we see that instead of printing it is at 15, 14, and 15, right, you check the first condition, and since the first condition held true, 15% 3 is equal to 0. So that's why it printed fizz. And once it printed fizz, it ignored the rest and it ignored the rest. So that's why at 15th place we see fizz. Does this part make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so that's for 15. So the 15, when it's 15, right? Because 15 is both divisible by 3 and 5, the correct answer should actually be fizz bus instead of just fizz alone. So perhaps you can guess what we might try to do. What most people will do is they can add another conditional, right? So if I mod 15 equals to 0, then print fizz bus, something like that, right? Right. So if you try to execute this, you get almost the same output, but wait a minute, you get exactly the same output, and you see that 15, right? Where you check whether I equals to 15, but why didn't fizz bus appear? Why is it just fizz? So yeah, this is a bit of a tricky question. So do you have any idea at the moment? You need,
Is it because like it has to be sequential? So like the moment 15 divided by 3 has no remainder, it becomes fees.
excellent. Yeah, very good. So you've hit it right on the spot. So you're right to say the moment 15 divided by 3 is remainder 0, right? This condition holds true and you execute print fizz and you ignore all of the rest, even though all of the rest are true, but you ignore it because we have already done the first one. So you're right to say it's sequential, right? That's the correct word. So it checks the conditionals sequentially, and as soon as it hits one that's correct, it doesn't continue with the rest because all of these are else statements. Yeah. Okay. So so very good, very good. Do you want to maybe think how do I get fizz bus over here? Yeah. If you want to.
Then do I shift the third condition to the first?
Very good indeed. So you change your third condition to the first. So copied it. I need to change this like this. And indeed, now when I press run, I get 1, 2 fizz, right, which is correct. 4 buzz, then for 6 is fizz, and so on. And when we go to 15, we see FizzBuzz. So that's awesome. So yeah, that's the yeah, you really got the key idea behind it. So conditionals is sequential, and yeah, so what you did was what we did was a coding question that, well, apparently it stumps quite a lot of coding, quite a lot of programmers, yeah, even those who are more experienced. So yeah, good job. Okay, so yeah, so let me just end the video here and then we can move on to talk about functions.